All right, this is part 6 of Tricked in the Name of Faith. Okay, so at this point, I had just sent over a copy of my driver's license. Well, a picture of my driver's license. And so they confirmed that they had it. And then they confirmed that they had received the $1,100, the $1,159, right? So they then told me to text back to that same number and put in paying registration and documentation fee and send over $874. Now at this time, now I already told you there was the first time I started to feel uneasy was when they told me to send that screenshot. The second time was when they wanted me to send a picture of my ID. And now at this point, it wasn't no uneasy feeling. Like alarm bells really start to go off, and they going off like crazy now. So I asked Ryan, I need to stop saying them. And now that I have a name to this person, and this is probably not his real name in first place, but we're going to call him Ryan because that's what he said. So I asked Ryan, I said, well, what is this registration and documentation fee? Because if y'all go back to the other parts, the only thing I had to pay for to them was the shipping fee. Other than that, I had to pay the registration fee here at to the county clerk's office, right? So I asked, what is this registration and documentation fee? And so then, now mind you, we're still just communicating by text. So he sends back and he's going to break it down saying, well, $474 will go towards temporary tags, and $400 is the Redstone documentation fee. Okay, that does sound legit as far as the temporary tags. I don't really know how much they cost, but I do know you do have to have temporary tags, to drive around. So now I call my mom because I'm not going to send over any more money, because at the end of the day got to end. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to put that in there. Like, sometimes you just got to laugh to keep from crying. So, but at the end of the day, I was not going to send them any more money because I had paid what was in the contract and what they initially said I was going to have to pay when they told me I won. So I called my mom because I'm just like, does this sound legit to you? Like I told you, this is not my lane, and I'm all about getting the help. And so I called her, couldn't get her, right? And then I called my dad. And so I'm talking to him, but he's at a doctor's appointment. So we didn't have long to talk. And he was just like, it sounds, real. I know you gotta have your temporary tags and all of that. And he was like, but I don't know, And so he tells me to call one of his preacher buddies. My dad's a minister, y'all. So anyways, he tells me to call one of his preacher buddies that used to work at a car dealership that just retired. And he was just like, I'm sure he'll be able to tell you if that sounds about right, or, you know what I'm saying? And so, but anyways, meanwhile, I end up screenshooting or taking a screenshot of the winner's email that they had sent me, right? And I circled the fees that they said I would have to pay. And, I never did call my dad's preacher buddy. I just did not. I was still communicating with them, and once I got what I needed, I was just like, no, I'm not going any further with this. So I really wasn't any need for me to call them. So anyways, now mind you, at this point, my dad is still holding on to valuable information that he ain't said to nobody. Nobody. Okay. So, um, anyway, so at this point, yeah, I end up taking a screenshot of the winner's email that they sent where they said I would have to pay the fees, and I circled where they said like I would have to pay between $300 and $700 in registration fees and da 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 da. And I asked them, I sent it back to them. I said, "Are these the fees that you're asking for right now?" Because like in my head, I'm like, these fees, I'm going down to the county clerk and pay. Like I'm not paying them to you, you know. So they said, no, this is a separate fee. And those fees right there, I would have to handle in my own state. So at this point, I'm back on the phone with my dad. Like I said, he was at a doctor's appointment. So we were kind of on and off the phone. Now this is when he finally tells me about the man demanding that my dad sends him $1,000 just to look at this 2017 Toyota Sienna, the one that I was considering buying. Now, this is why I say this is valuable information because who has to put down money just to see a car? You're trying to sell the car. Why why do you have to put down $1,000 just to come look at the car? Right? So, and they was just like, well, it's to make a reservation to come and see the van. Why you gotta do all that to come see the van? Now, this is, mind you, this is like I said, the 2017 one that, y'all hear my baby in the background. He is so excited. Oh, I just love when he squeals like that. He is nonverbal for you all that may be new to our channel, but I just love his little excitement. It keeps me going. Anyways, yeah. So my dad is just now telling me this. Now, mind you, my dad and I both know we're dealing with the same people. Now, I don't think they knew that they were dealing with the same family. That the winner was also one of the people that was also supposedly looking to buy one of their cars, because we were just like, well, if you don't win, you still got this other good deal over here. And so my dad was just now telling me that, right? So I was just like, no, this is not right. This is a scam. This is for sure a scam, is what I'm thinking. And I was just like, I want no parts of it. Like, with just how they're handling things, I was just like, I don't know if this is real or not, but from my gut, this is a scam. So I tell my dad, I'm gonna hang up with you and call the bank, because I wish I had known that earlier. Because why are you demanding $1,000 just to see a car, And so, mind you, this is still that Monday. And yeah, so I hang up with my dad and I call the bank. I call my bank. My bank, they end up opening up a dispute, but that's all that they could do at that moment. Like, they just told me somebody from that department would have to call me back in a couple of days to finish getting the entire report and then discuss the process with me. So that happens, and now I'm back on the phone with my dad. And this is when he also tells me that he has looked at the website, which I knew he did because he had told me so when he checked out the 2017 Toyota Sienna. And then when I came home and told him I won, he was just like, yeah. He would be like, I hope it's not a scam, but they got a website, but, they ain't BBB accredited. And, so this is when he tells me that when you go to the website, there are no pictures to go along with any of the cars. I was just like, Dad, why are you just saying something? You know what I'm saying? It's like a stock photo, and sure enough, there is. Let me see if the website's still up, y'all. Let me see. Because it is like, this is the picture you see for every vehicle. The back of a Volvo. Is this a back of a Volkswagen? And you see right now that's being advertised as a 2023 Toyota Sienna. There you go. That one is a 2022 Honda Odyssey. The same picture for everyone. And if you click on one, like let me click on, this is a Dodge, supposed to be a Dodge Caravan. When you click on it, the same picture. It's the same picture all the way across. Like, Dad. You couldn't tell me this? Oh, wait. So my dad tells me that then. And then at this point, I was like, let me look up this stuff for myself. More about that in the next part.